It's happened. In less than 72 hours, Chip leaving, and now DeShaun Foster's the head coach. Here in this reaction is why it's a good decision on Locked On UCLA.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Locked On UCLA podcast. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer, without a voice, but UCLA's got a new head coach. So we're here anyway, talking about DeShaun Foster, the new UCLA football head coach, right? A stunning turn of events. You leave for the weekend, there's all the rumors, and then Pete Thamel breaks it with a morning news nugget that DeShaun Foster's the new head coach. A young coach at 44, no previous head coaching experience, hiring him back from the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is probably a good thing. Not probably, it is a good thing. I had already talked about in the most recent, one of the more recent Locked On UCLA episodes, how Chip leaving would be devastating. And it still is pretty brutal how late in the cycle it was and how it can affect recruiting. But seeing on the social medias and the socials, true Bruins, and I even retweeted this on the Locked On UCLA account, TJ Harden, among quite a few Bruins, I didn't even see the rest of them, talking about they wanted DeShaun Foster, make him the head coach, right? On their socials, on X, whatever it was, right? So the players wanted him. This is a younger coach. Bring in the youth infusion, right? It's not like he's 30, right? But he is 44, younger, knows how to play the recruiting game. Remember, they already lost Keegan Jones and brought him back. You don't think that DeShaun Foster, the former associate head coach, now current head coach, will be introduced in a day, had something to do with that? You don't think other running backs have been one of the more dominant forces at UCLA? Yes, Chip, cool, awesome. But DeShaun Foster had to play a role in that. A true Bruin who knows what it takes. And why does this all make sense? Continuity as well, right? How do you go replace an entire staff that just got new titles and tags, right? Maybe Chip put a little mini bow of sorts. I don't know. But DeShaun could just come in, bring in the energy, give some high fives, some fist bumps. Everybody welcomes him back to Westwood and Pasadena. And it keeps the staff with a sense of continuity. It's not like you have to completely wipe out the staff. Now, what is DeShaun going to do for an offensive coordinating stuff? Is he going to completely change the offense? But you've got a lot of pieces coming back. The portal is open for 30 days. And now, hopefully, the majority of the offensive talent stays. I'm not sure how much they can recoup and rebuild, reload the defenses I've been trying to tell and talk about and how brutal the recruiting cycle it's been with UCLA's ranking. But here we are. DeShaun Foster's the head coach. And, hey, it's been a while since the Bruins have had a coach without previous head coaching experience, Karl Dorrell. But even Karl Dorrell had some bright moments. So we're hoping that DeShaun Foster, who's been in the system, basically been in UCLA as a coach for the last decade, but it's been a while since he wasn't at UCLA, right? Off and on for nearly every year the last year. Left to Las Vegas, which you knew was a sign of the times if he left to Vegas to go be the running backs coach with Antonio Pierce. But then AP is probably got to be like, all right, you're going to get a head coaching job. Go interview. It's okay. It's okay. Go leave to UCLA. That's how fickle this coaching carousel business is like. But DeShaun Foster, my goodness, hopefully this can help the recruiting. He can do something that is much better than what Chip Kelly did in high school. And maybe if you want to steal something of Chip's formula, find a way to play the portal as well as Chip did, but make the recruiting for high schools much, much better. UCLA and the recruiting rankings going down, right? This was reported by Pete Thamel. And then I think in the story on ESPN was that 11 coaches were interviewed in like a 3-day cycle where I believe Martin Jarmond in that statement he released on the Friday, right before the big weekend, the Super Bowl weekend, was that they wanted to coach in the first 96. This is a statement that he was able to get it done. Now, is this the cheap option? Who knows? There's no cheap option. They needed to get something done by Monday morning. So the players who are probably making things known, fielding phone calls, getting phone calls, whether it's shady or legit, making sure that didn't happen all over the weekend, they're like, hey, we're going to have an answer by Monday morning. And they did. They probably wanted to have it by Tuesday morning. They did it by 24 hours. All right. This is a Bruin through and through. Now, can he come in, and revitalize I was going to say a franchise, but that's kind of what college football is now. Revitalize a program that had chances for life. Even with Chip leaving, there's chances for life, as despicable as the UCLA fan base that we're all going to treat Chip as he's going to be hated, right? There's no way to say most people will like Chip when he comes back with Ohio State as the offensive coordinator in the UCLA Ohio State game soon. There's no way. But there were good moments. Now, can DeShaun Foster make it a gradual build with no ups and downs, right? Can he make that simple? Solidify defensively. Get NIL support. Men of Westwood. All that. Go and get with the boosters. The support needs to be there. The move has been made for the head coach. Chip's gone on his own accord. The administration took UCLA. They took so long to even make a move. They stood pat, and they finally made a move to make a head coach. Now they got money they don't have to spend on Chip to buy him out. All that can hopefully lend itself to maybe a last-second build to not a terrible 2024 season. And I think there's an optimism for a season, for a team right now. We're trying to get to bowl eligibility with a head coaching switch. And we've seen this last season, where crazy coaching switches can still lead to good seasons and revitalize a program. Now, it's a lot of pressure to put on a guy who has never been a head coach before, but he's been in the locker room. He has continuity, I would believe, with the rest of the coaching staff being there all these years, the solidified force, the pillar prior to Chip Kelly, right? He is somebody who can come back and bring it all together. And I think the offense should hopefully be good. He knows how important the offensive line is. He knows, hey, how good the defense was. How can we get it going and recruit the better players and players in positions to make it work with the Kaika Malloy replacing Danton Lynn? I know there's different looks and ways to go. I think for where it was timing-wise, despite Jonathan Smith going to Michigan State, despite Jed Fish going to Washington, this is, for what it was, a good fit, and now DeShaun Foster gets his opportunity. And you know what you do with opportunity? You seize the moment and you make it happen. And this is his certain opportunity to do so. There's going to be some hate. It's a cheap option. They got the job done. Martin, despite not being able to fire the head coach of UCLA, Chip Kelly, that we've been asking for since November, and try to spin it into positivity until we couldn't in early February when he left, he made his move. And it's not a wrong move. And he's been able to get good head coaches like women's soccer. They won a championship in Margaret Eosasa's first year. Different sport, different things, different layout, of course. But hey, they're building. They're building. All right? So let's go and get hyped for DeShaun Foster. All right? The big thing is recruiting, energy, and filling up the Rose Bowl. Everything has to come together. Now it's time for the fan base to get energized and just say, hey, Chip's gone. Go sell out the Rose Bowl. I don't want it red, purple, green, any other weird color other than UCLA blue and gold during home games against the Big Ten this year when they play Fresno State at the end. All right? Go fill it out. Go to LSU. Let's get excited. All right? Because the move has been made. All right? Go Bruins. And let's get DeShaun some big-time love. All right? Let's go Bruins. All right, whether you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for this role, which is why you want to check out LinkedIn Jobs. They've got the right tools, the right professionals for your team, faster and for free. It's not just another job board. They have a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidates within 24 hours. It's like UCLA went there and found a way to go get a qualified candidate. I know DeShaun Foster's close to home, so they need to use LinkedIn, but use a small business should absolutely do so. Go post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/LockedOnCollege. That's LinkedIn.com/LockedOnCollege. Post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so you've been wondering, hey, the big game's gone, Super Bowl's over, crazy epic overtime finish. But to all who celebrate, did you go to FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook? Because if you're sitting on the couch, having the best seat, eating some snacks, some wings, enjoying some good time, like with the pops on the birthday, what are you doing? Did you end your season with the W or 2 or 3? Hey, if you didn't, well, you still got time. Because if you want to be a new customer, join today and you get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. That's FanDuel.com/locked-on to sign up. FanDuel.com/locked-on to sign up. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer here. We're signing off saying, go Bruins. Let's go DeShaun Foster. We'll cover all this and more on Locked On UCLA. Hands up, 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA, fight, fight, fight. As you can tell, I'm sick. I'm losing my voice. Go Bruins.